Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today we're taking a look finally at Fugue Machine Rubato by Alexandernaut. Strap yourselves in. Free your brain of stuff, because we're going to oge. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Jade and this is How to App on iOS, and I hope you're doing okay. It is a Saturday morning here in Australia, Friday for the rest of you. There's a huge evening of entertainment coming up across YouTube, and I'm a very small cog in that wheel. But today we're finally taking a look at Fugue Machine Rubato, and it is absolutely a delight. It's really cool. I've had it for a fair while now, and I can't wait to go through this with you. Now, obviously, this is a very complex application. It is almost on the level of a DAW because there's so much to learn. There's so much underneath, and you'll probably never fully get everything the way you want it. So is this tutorial going to cover every single part of this app? Probably not, but it's going to cover as much as I possibly can to get you going. All right, let's talk about the price of this app, because that's going to get most people, so it is a thing. My opinion matters not on this. Fugue Machine Rubato is available on iOS and Mac. Once you pay for it, it works across your iPhone, your iPads, your Mac. So it's completely universal. The price tag for this is $59.99. I hear everybody scream, which everybody has, and rightfully so, and rightfully not so, because ultimately it's up to the individual on whether they find the value out of this app. If you're going to spend the $59.99 on this is the US price. Remember, in Australia, this is currently $99, so a lot more here in Australia. It's up to you on if you're going to actually use this. There's no point paying the money if you're not going to use it. So hopefully this demo can help you understand if you're going to get the most out of it. In saying that, let me skip back over here because Fugue Machine has been around for a while, and I covered this way back on episode 500 or something. It has been renamed now to Fugue Machine Classic. It's the same app, exactly the same, but same price, $20. But it doesn't have all of these crazy features. Only has 4 playheads compared to 8, but it's the automation and stuff that is just wild for this new app. So here it is. It's up to, now this is an introductory price as well, so be aware. $59.99 is the intro price. This is 25% off. It will go up to $80. So just be aware. My opinion on this, again, if you're going to use it, there's value in it, absolutely. And, I just don't even want to get into it because it just creates such a shit storm. And the main focus here is to show you how good this app is. Hello to those who are joining us. Studio 6+1, Jenny Jolivet, Chem, okay, what's happening? There's a few other people there. Hey, if you don't want to talk, you don't want to talk, and that is cool as well. So let's get in and have a look at this thing and show you as best I can how it works. I've got a little project running here in AUM. I've got 2 instances of it. I've got a couple of piano techs, an analog EGR, and what is this? Oh yeah, overdrive synth, wild. So let's hit play and just see what it does. Okay, we're going to clear this out of here and get into one instance of it and give you the breakdown of how it works. It produces no sound, yes? So this is a MIDI generator. It's not a it's not a note generator, so it's not a generative stuff. So you are actually putting notes in and all that kind of stuff. So it is different on that level. It is a sequencer, I guess. So you can only load it here as a MIDI processor, and it's not going to make any sound. Now, I just want to touch on this because having both Fugue machines can be a little bit confusing. If you can't see the name or you're just looking at the top of your iPad, so you'll notice here with the icon, if I can zoom in a little bit there, the original Fugue machine on this little side here is just black or grey, kind of dark grey, whereas the new one has these added colours in here, which is to represent the 4 extra playheads. So this one only has 4 playheads. This one, the new one, has 8 playheads, just so you can see the difference, because it's a little bit hard when you're looking on your iPad and or you're doing a search through your iPad and you can see the icons and there's no name that pops up, which happens with iOS. You can get an idea of which one is which. We'll just take that one out of the mix. We'll leave it in there because I'm going to talk about the original one as well. Just to kick off, we're just going to put a piano in here and just some reverb on it. Simple. Just so we got some piano, and here is the interface. Now we need to connect this up to the piano. So there's multiple ways to connect, with AUM. Now this works in Logic and Cubase and all these kind of things. It works beautifully. You can just come here to the output one and then choose Piano Tech if you want to do that. Or you can actually come over here to the routing system. And you can see here we've got, let's just, for now, just completely delete that so we're not confused or anything. And with our routing here, you can see Fugue Machine Rubato has 8 outputs, or 9 actually. The 9th one is for drum sequencing. So there's 8 outputs and the 9th one is set up basically for drum sequencing and 16 hits. So we're going to take this output here and we're going to send this to Piano Tech. So here's the another easy way to do that. So that is now routed from output 1 into Piano Tech 8 and we're good to go. So I can start using this. Let's run through this wonderful outlay. This up in the top left-hand corner, I'm going to touch on this first because it is important. This is the Shift key. So it has this little diagram up the top. It's like a little curve. And you'll notice there's one up here. So this is a big, and when I press it, if you can see it, it just kind of changes shade a little bit. So that's a Shift key there. And down here also is another Shift key. So you've got 2 of these Shift keys. But what's really cool is if you are using a Magic Keyboard or you have a keyboard connected, well, you can use the Shift key here. So if you can see that, when I'm pressing Shift, it's actually changing the color up here of this icon. So I can use Shift for anything. And the Shift key is something you're going to use a lot. It's definitely something you will use a lot. It has a lot of functions that'll help you read things and see things better because things are a little bit small down here, yeah? So that is our top. The Shift key is very important. You will use it heaps. Across the other side is the 3 dots. So this is our info page. Hi, Jamie Lynn. So we've got our info here. When you click on the 3 dots, you'll get this page, and there's a little toolbar down the bottom here that you can skip through. You've got some settings. You can close the box there. There's a little X. This is called snapshots. So with snapshots, it's constantly taking snapshots of your projects, of what you're doing. So you can see here, if I go back, there's a whole lot of things here. Change parameter, change parameter, change parameter, open a new project, change the sequence. So you can actually come in here and go back. So this is almost like your undo button. So if there's snapshots, there's something you want to go back to, there is this handy little snapshots page in here. And they have their own little things as well too. So you can copy and export and delete in 30 days. So you can actually set these to delete, save them somewhere. So these snapshots can be removed and saved. So that's really cool. And lastly, on the end here is where all our patterns are, or presets, whatever you like to call them. So you've got 3 little previews here. And you've got a whole heap. There's so many presets in here, and I think the original presets from Fugue Machine are available in here as well too. There are folders in here as well, so you see this one has a folder with more presets in it. This one, race car, has presets in it, and you can go ahead and create all your own folders as well too. So let's just back out. So those are the little sections down the bottom. There's 3 dots up here as well, so it's getting confusing. We've got 3 dots, we've got 3 dots. This is where you manage all of your files and stuff. So you can modify an open folder and import into other folders, select all this stuff, create a brand new pattern, create a brand new folder. Let's do that. I should do that. We'll name this Jade. So if I want to save anything, hit return. Now I have my own folder in here, and now I can save my own patterns in here. Again, 3 dots, and you've got things like loaded patterns. You can write as, replace, load with another pattern. So there's so many options here. And what you're going to find with any of these gray boxes that open up here, like in any of these boxes like this, if you keep scrolling to the bottom, this is essentially where the manual is. So there's no manual to say. So this is why I don't have everything down. But you can see the more I scroll down, there's like these little sections here. New pattern creates a new pattern in RAM. New folder creates a new folder. To open the folder, so you've got all these instructions here that you can go and read about what everything is. Load with paste, export loaded, replace with. So there's a whole lot of things in here with that little section. All right, so that's our, the last thing we'll cover here is in the settings. You can see there's some MIDI out stuff. So some MIDI routing over here. You can turn all notes off. You've got stuff like the sequencer, so you can set it to host the clock source with AUv3 global quantization, default note velocity. You can change that. Heaps of settings for the interface. So change the look of the interface and the playhead. And you got an inbox for, I guess, when the developer puts out messages and stuff like that. If there's updates or anything like that, you can check those out. So that's pretty much the settings and where you're going to be saving your projects, loading projects. And what we're going to do today is we're going to run through everything. And then in the end, we're going to go through a whole heap of the presets. Okie dokie, where do we go next? So let's start up here. So this little section here that I'm dragging around, this defines how much of the section you want your notes to play in. So if I start putting notes in, which is very easy to do, just tap anywhere, and there your note is. Now if I hit play up here, nothing's going to happen because we need to sync this to the DAW. And very intuitively, if I get out the way here, you'll notice down the bottom, this little earth thing, it started moving. It's got a little animation icon because it's wanting to connect to the DAW, but it's not. So to connect, you just touch that little globe, and the next time around when we hit, the globe, when we hit play, we are connected. And making sound. So you can see we have this little block set up here at the top just to play this little section here. And it's just repeating. Now I can move this along. And I can move this anywhere I want this playhead to be. I can also stretch this out. So now we have the full length. But it's not playing the full length, is it, you say? But this is the full length of the project. So up here is controlling the project here. So what's inside of here? If we come back, bring this back here. And you're probably wondering, but why is that making no difference to anything else? Well, there are playheads down the bottom here, and there are 8 playheads. I'll just come back. 8 playheads, and we've only got 1 selected. And you can tell if it's selected because the little play down here will be on, and each one of these you can turn on, and let's just see what it does if we turn all 8 of these on. Nothing really, because they're all doing the same thing. So they're all playing exactly the same thing over the top of each other. Okay, also, so down the side here is where you can scroll up and down and go within your octaves. So currently we are on a C Aeolian scale, so C natural minor. And we're right in the middle there, yeah? So we can move this up and down. We can zoom in by pinching, by pushing these together. I'm using the mouse to do this, so you can zoom right in and then move this around. Double tap doesn't seem to reset or anything like that, but we're back kind of in the middle now. We can pull this down. You can shape this however you want, yeah? Hello, adorable Anarchy. So you've got plenty of controls there to shape what's happening here. Let's talk about the, so we've already talked about the little play. So this has to be turned on, the little play icon down the bottom corner. There it is, just there, for it to sync with the DAW. Now the earth icon, oh, stupid I am, this is your global settings. So when you bring this up from down the bottom, global settings are available to you. So this will give you the rate, the curve, we've got all that, the speed of everything there, which playheads are actually on. You can see when they're turned on because they're lit up. So we've only got one on at the moment. You can choose the scale and the key, and you can choose the overall octave, pitch, so going up by semitones, and the velocity over here. Now, this is interesting because these are very small, these controls down here. So if I want to change the key, I would put my mouse here and then go up and down. Now you can see it's very, very small to see what is actually happening there. So you can see they're moving, so C all the way to B and up and back. So that could be a little bit frustrating. Hello, Brad Example. But this is where the shift key comes in first. Let's kick off with the first shift key. Now I can either do this, I can come up here and hold this shift key here. And then when I tap down here on the key, I get a little pop-up box. All right, there's our little pop-up box. So I'll show you again the opposite way to bring up this pop-up box, and that is if you've got a keyboard connected. Now, if I want to close this, there's a little X. I can tap that, and it's gone. Now, if I want to use my shift key, I can just hold shift and then do whatever I want. Click on the key, bang, there's the box. So using the shift key on a keyboard is very, very beneficial. And you're going to want to use these boxes a lot. Trust me on that, because as you can see, not only do you get the option, so just dragging up and down here is so small, but when I hold down shift and click here, we get a larger screen to choose which key we want to be in. You can set it as the default. And again, with these boxes, you're going to get instructions under here. So you can see here, key sets the root note of the scale, aka musical key, or tonic in the note grid. So this is where you're able to set your key. And this works for anything. So if I hit shift and scale, or shift and octave offset, shift and pitch. So you have to click on the actual word up here. So if I come over here to rate and click, we've got the global rate. So anything that is clickable, anything that is scrollable along here with a shift key, I can bring up this and change these here. So that's why I started off with the shift key. It's very important. You're going to have a better experience understanding the shift key. So yes, we're still in the overall because we've got this globe selected down the bottom here, and this is the overall the overall song, and you've got heaps of scales. So if we tap shift and boom, you can see we've got all heaps of scales for you to go through, and this all gets changed. You can see it change. So we're in chromatic. As we go through, the scales change around the actual scale. So we'll come back to natural minor. Hello, Russ. I said hi to Brad. All right. So again, with the octave, you can come in here and choose the, so if we just hit play, make sure we got our, we can come in here to the octave, hit shift, turn it up one. Obviously we're going up octaves. Same with the pitch. semitones. Set to default goes back. And again with velocity, shift and velocity. You can come in here and change the velocities of these as well. So unsigned, whichever one's offsets. And again, if you get lost, there's instructions down here, yeah? Rate, let's go over here to the rate. Shift and click. We can change the rate. ×1, dotted, triplet, ×2. All the way up to 8. And the same with going down. So super slow down to 16ths. Oh, it goes, I think it goes up higher as well too. And you can drag, I think, yeah. So the highest is 8. And if you drag your finger, you can do that as well. So we'll go 2 times. Plus, we have a multiplier and a divider. So you can go crazy, right? It's pretty fucking deep. And again, instructions down the bottom. So we're back to 1. Let's talk about curves. So while we're on this trail, just turn this down a little bit because it's a bit annoying. We have curves here. Now again, if I just drag up, it's very small, what you're seeing down there. So again, you're going to want to use the shift. And watch what happens as I start to manipulate the curve. So global curve sets a curve type that can be used every time function in the system. I'm just going to go through some of these curves and just watch the cursor as the playhead as it goes across. You start to see it skipping and wobbling. Even now, it's like got this wobble to it. It's not just running straight across. And even more and more, now it's really jumping. It's jumping between. So these curves can get pretty crazy. Plus, we can change the divider here as well too. And so now you can see we're getting some really odd skipping. It's actually skipping some notes. And then we can come into the curve down here and then add onto that. And you will start seeing things get a little bit wild. And then we've got a divider for this as well. So our playhead is starting to get a little bit loony. Now this is the overall. Remember, we have the globe selected down in the bottom left-hand corner. So this is just affecting the overall. All right, let's put everything back. And I'm just going to use my finger for this and just pull all these back down. And let's bring these curves back down and we'll come back. We'll do a shift here. Let's just bring everything back down to 0. Set to default, boom. And you can see that cursor's now gone back to just sliding across. So there's no curves, no stutters or anything like that. So already, hopefully you can see that the curves can create some pretty wild stuff when used with echoes and things like that, which we're going to jump into. So we're still on this little globe icon down the bottom corner here, which means we are on the overall settings. Over here, where this little handle is, if I swipe, this is going to present me with a whole bunch of MIDI settings for the overall project. We're not going to focus on this right now. We're just going to come back over here And I don't know, let's spice up this pattern a little bit. So we'll take off the global settings. And I'm going to hit stop on this. And let's delete all these notes and let's focus on inserting notes and some of the ways you can do so. So the easiest way to do so is to take a finger and just tap. And there's your note. Boom, boom, boom. Easy to just tap notes in, hit play. And we've got a rhythm. Now, this is all stuff that can be done in Fugue Machine Classic. So this is, you know, if that's your poison, go for it. Fugue Machine Classic is still incredibly awesome. But there are other ways to add notes as well. So let's just drag and we'll delete these. I think, can we delete? Awesome, deleted. So you can also touch and drag. Touch and drag, and that'll extend your notes. So you actually, if you want to delete, touch and drag, touch and drag. I went a little bit too far. Now, if you want to move it, once the note's there, just tap it and just drag it to where you want it to go. Tap and drag, hit play. We've obviously got longer notes now. At any time, you can come in with your finger and change the size of these. But there's other ways to do so as well. There's these really cool 2-finger swipes and 3-finger taps. Right, so if I take 2 fingers and drag, oops, put that back, put it back. If I take 2 fingers and start moving this around, you'll see it's moving around. I'm using 2 fingers to do so. If I put 3 fingers down, notice what's going on there. If I go up and down, this is controlling the velocity. So if I pull down, we're changing the velocity. If I pull up, the velocity is getting, let's show you that. You can hear how that's louder. The thicker the line, the higher the velocity. Take 3 fingers again and pull down. So there's a lot of hidden kind of 3-fingery stuff and 2-fingery stuff that you can do. Now, if I hold down Shift and drag, I can multi-select stuff, which is pretty cool. Now you'll notice as I drag across these, it's not selecting all of them. That's because we already had one selected before. See how this one's selected over here? Now when I hit Shift and drag, it's only selecting these 3. But if we unselect all of these and then drag, it's going to select all 4. Once they're selected, I can take 2 fingers and I can move all of these around wherever I want. And with 3 fingers, I can drag the notes out if I want. So a lot of power with the Shift button and with multiple fingers to move things around. So we've got a nice little pattern here. Let's just take 2 fingers and move it all up one. So we're on that middle C note. Sounds cool. Again, we only have one playhead playing. To get into your playhead settings, so remember, over here in the bottom corner are our global settings with the little earth connected. But if we want to get into individual settings of our playhead, next door to each play down the bottom here is a musical note. And this brings up the settings for each playhead. So you'll notice down the bottom here, we've got a whole lot of new things down here. We've got, this is the time, we've got the path, echo, and note. Obviously, time is going to allow us to change the timing of this particular playhead. Again, Shift, change the rate, and it speeds up. So now, essentially, I could add a second playhead in. And now we've got 2 playheads running, and they're both running at different times. I might want to come in, let's turn off that second playhead. I might want to add some echo to this. Turn off the echo. We're just back to single notes again. Let's slow down this rate. Go down to 2. Nice and slow. We've already shown you the curves, so these curves apply for this playhead as well. So not only can you use the curves and the rate for the overall, but they can be used on each individual playhead. Very powerful stuff. Moving along. So, again, if you want to click on any of these, shift and click the name, and then you're going to get your pop-up. Let's add a curve in here. So this is playing. Let's talk about the style. So we can go backwards, forwards, backwards and forwards. So many different places we can go. And this is our path section down here. And N stands for going forward. Yeah, that's like neutral. That's going forward. Again, we hold shift and above. Now we've got forward and back. So this is a ping pong. We've got forward plus reverse. We've got just reverse. There's so many. Reverse and then neutral. Reverse plus neutral. This is like a scattered. And again, scrolling down will give you all the lists of them. So you've got normal, reverse. Sorry, normal is what N stands for. Then normal, reverse. Normal and reverse, reverse, reverse normal, reverse and normal. This is converge, and then you've got converge and diverge, converge, diverge. So there's so many of these. Let's just go through. So there's heaps of them. And here's the thing. Here's the thing with this app, yeah? And you're going to, like, obviously we discussed the price at the start, and you're going to hear a lot of people complaining about the price and upset about the price. And sure, I agree. The text, what Leila says here, definitely going to need my audio modding glasses for this. The text is really small. So it is very thankful that we have these pop-up boxes here because they literally change everything. Hi, driven to right. If I have Russ, what's going on? Did I say hi to Russ? All right. So plenty of styles down here. And within this as well, whoops, didn't want to do that. Let's all get all of that. Okay. So with the styles, we also have repeats. So this is, we can add repeats in here. Let's hold shift. And we can add repeats to this. So now the way this works is, let's take out the converge so you can see what's going on. We'll go back here. We'll bring this back to N. So if you can see, it's playing 4 times before it moves on. And I can show you this in a better way. Let's add some more notes in here. So we're playing 4 notes before it moves on. This is with the repeat section. And we can change this. So it's going to do 9 times. You can decide where this starts as well. The width of the repeats, so sets the number of steps grouped together for repeats. And you can also decide where you want it to start. So each time it's going to start back here. So as you can see, like this thing can get really, really fucking deep. It's ridiculous how deep it is. Like there's no way I can show this fully one particular way, because this is on a level of depth that is just ridiculous. It's so much you can do. It's bonkers. So we've briefly touched on the path and the time, and also down here underneath, there's these three little dots, and there's even more settings here. So if I hold down, this is the offset. So offsets the notes playhead to react to the note grid. So there's so much shit. If we come over here, this is the Y marker, hold shift, the Y offset. So, and that's by hitting these dots down here, and this will bring it back. And all of these have these little dots down here. So the time has these as well. And the echo. Let's talk about echo, because echo is a little bit different than repeats. As you can see with the repeats, it's playing. We'll just bring this start back. So it's playing 9 repeats. And we bring it back to 1. It's just playing 1 repeat, one note again. So echo's a little bit different. This is our next section. If we turn on echo, we can decide how many echoes. And we can change the rate of the echoes. It's ridiculous, Layla. We can change the curve. We can go bonkers. Let's come back over here to our repeats or echo count. It is very deep. It's wild. Okay, so in here too, now remember this is just one playhead. One playhead. We can come in here and change the octave of the playhead. Shift. Let's add some more notes in. Change the octave. Octave stuff's pretty easy to understand. You can stack octaves. This is pretty wild. You can come in here and stack octaves on top of each other. And it gives you all these variations. Set to default to go back. The pitch here is for semitones, of course. You can change the velocity. Plus, you've got things like gating as well. We can come in and start gating these notes. We've got a multiplier and a divider. Again, 3 dots down the bottom give you more options to play with. Invert, a whole lot of stuff. Too much to go into today. Too much. But these are the 4 major items down the bottom here. And don't worry, we'll get to building. We'll move on to multiple playheads. But while we're here, let's talk about, this is the thing that is completely different than Fugue Machine. This is where things get utterly bonkers, just nuts. So, all right, let's do this. So we're on playhead 1. Remember, if you want to, whichever playhead you're on, all you got to do is click the musical note and you'll see the background will change to the color of the note, so you know which one you're on, because everything changes color to match. But we're on playhead 1. That's the only one active here. Now, thanks, Brad, for the skull fuck. Hi, Seven Dust. Automation. The automation in this is fucking stupid. It's wild. It's so ridiculous. It's unbelievable. Love it so much. Let me disappear out of the picture here so you can see what's going on. If I click, while I'm inside, while I'm on this first playhead's settings here, if I click any of the above icons, which normally I would, if I hold down shift and tap, we're going to get this window. But if I just tap it, it brings up this little section here. And this is our automation. You can automate any of these things. For instance, let's start off by automating a rate. So I've tapped on rate. You can tell that it's selected because it's lit up over here. Yeah, can't zoom in there. You can see it's lit up over there. So we're now in the rate section. We can draw in our rates and automation along here. We can decide how long we want this up the top. So we've got our own section here as well too. We can decide and zoom in and out how much within this section we want. It's very, very powerful stuff. Let me tell you that. All right, let's just bring that back there. Very, very powerful. You've got two ways you can add points within the automation. The circle over here puts in a dot, and if I put in a few dots along here and just draw them in, this will give you a sloping automation, right? So no squares. And now if we hit play on this, it's not doing anything. To activate, up the top, we have a play button here. And this is now activated. So our automation should now work. And things are going to get wild. All right. Hopefully, just by seeing this, you can understand the amount of automation you can do to this thing is just fucking crazy. So let's come back. Let's remove these. You can remove these dots. Now, these dots work in a similar way to adding notes with 3-finger swipes. Yeah. So I can take one of these dots and with 2 fingers, I can move it around. I can, with 3 fingers, I can go up and down. I can change the velocity. I can move this up and down with 2 fingers. So I can actually select multiple dots just by tapping and dragging backwards. And I can select multiples of these, and then I can move the whole lot around, left and right. So a lot of power just in 2-finger movements. I can just select 2 of them if I want. And then I can do things that get super crazy, like messing with curves. I can actually go in and fuck around with the curves of this. It's pretty bonkers. All right. But let's focus on these dots. So I'm going to remove these. So just tap them to remove them. Super easy. And now we're back to nothing. So our playhead of the automation is still set. But with these, so we've got our small dot here and this little dot with the, so it's a half circle. When we use this to put in inputs, this allows us to do complete drops, right? So we can, a whole lot more interesting automation here. So put in a dot, draw up, and you can get super bonkers. And so right now we're just doing this with time. Hit play. Let's bring them all in a little bit so they're not so crazy. Now we had echo on there. So without much thinking at all, we have something musical. Now remember, this isn't generative, but there's just so much. So this can be done for anything you like. We can come in here and say, turn on, let's start with the octave. If I tap octave now, you'll see the octave is selected, and now we have a full empty plate here to come in and put in some automation here. Let's just put in some automation, a few dots, and do some dragging. And this is going to affect the octaves. So when we play this now, make sure it's turned on. So each one of these has to have play selected. And again, we can drag these up live while this is able to mess around with absolutely live. I could come in and change the stacks here by automating even the stacks. So basically, every single thing along here can be utterly automated. And I love this one. So with the style, when we click on style, you have 3 sections here. So when you add a dot, you can see it gives you, it's very faint. It's very faint. So you're going to want to pay attention to these. All the way down the bottom will be N. So we're running neutral. And then if I come up here and put in another one, we can send this into reverse or whatever we want. You can do all of this with automation. Turn play on. And now that playhead is bouncing all over the joint. Over here, we can see what's actually being automated. This is like a palette view to see all of the options and what is actually being selected. So if we clicked on rate, all your rates are, this is what the automation is actually doing. Okay, so the same thing works for each playhead. Let's click off this playhead. So all this is automated. We can bring in another playhead if we want, but here's the fun bit. This is where things get really bonkers. I don't need to add my second playhead to the exact same section here, to this section up here. Let's turn on a new playhead and make sure it's activated. All the same notes are in here, but I can now drag up the top here and say put this right at the end of the section, and I can put in a whole bunch of new notes in here. In fact, let's bring this all the way to half, and we can start putting in a whole different section of notes. So we'll just put 4 in for fun. Now the other thing too, now you'll see I've got my rate still showing up here. You just got to go back and find it and click off to, so here we are in this new section. And if I turn off the first one and keep this new one and hit play, it's still playing over there. I don't want it to do that. I want it to play. I want it to play over here. And I've forgotten how to do it. I love it, man. Oh dear. So, how do I do this? I've got to remember how to do it. It was Oh, we've got to come over to our overall section. I think that's right. Let's come over here to our world section. And we want to go boom. And up here, where is our thing? There we go. Turn off that. And I do believe it's, here we go. So you got to drag. Come on, dude. What are you doing? Bring this over here. And make sure play is set. I've fucked it up. I can't remember how to do it. It's too much. I think I have a project saved actually, so I can go in and do that. We can cover that in a sec. But you can actually set this up. If I could get my brain to work properly. Why am I not able to bring this in? I think it's this one. We've got there, and that's the overall, isn't it? Yeah, that's overall. So we want to go boom and do that. That's what we want to do. So now, so just to show you what I did there, let's show you what happened there. So in the overall section, I've got selected this whole section here, right? So this is the whole project being played, right? Whole project. If I come and tap on this second playhead, I've set this second playhead to only play these 4 notes. So we've got the first head playing these notes, and we've got the second head playing these notes. So now when we bring them both in, which means while we're on this second head, let's change the octave up here and we'll go a bit higher. So we've got 2 playheads playing now. So essentially I could come in here to this third playhead and put something completely different in the middle here. Let's come over here, set this, and let's put notes like 1. And we'll just put them in going down, sloping kind of thing, and then all the way back up. And now this section will play our middle bit, and we can go in here and change the rate if we want. So we can shift and change the rate, make it faster. And this is what's happening in the middle. We can slow it down. Let's add in the first one. And we have playheads going bonkers. I'm going to focus on this middle one. And let's add some echoes. Let's add some repeats to it. We'll make it a bit higher. So again, barely scratching the surface. Pretty wild stuff. You have an overall down the bottom here. If you click these three dots down the bottom here, you can choose the overall if you want it to go forward or backwards or whatever. That's up to you. You can flick between time here to get into your speed. So once this forward is selected, watch what happens here. If I put a note in while this is selected down here, this little forward, you can come in and put in things like stops. So down the bottom is reverse, up the top is forward, and in the middle is freeze. So put another one in here. And now we're on number 3. So check this. Now we're bouncing backwards, forwards, freezing, reversing. And eventually this is going to get to the end. Okay. So hopefully you get the idea of these individual sections here. You tap on one and you're taken to a whole brand new, let's get rid of this time section here. You are taken to a new playhead. You've got 8 of these playheads to mess about with. You can turn them all on. Once you've set them, the best thing is to start from 0 and just start building, in my opinion. All right, let's talk about MIDI out, because MIDI out is a big thing. And then we'll cover the arpeggiation and we'll go through some, oh yeah, absolutely. You can make something huge with 2 notes. 2 notes and you can just keep building. Multi-out is a thing on this. Hello, I'm back. So let's talk about multi-out. I'm going to add a couple more tracks here. We'll just add another piano tech, but we'll choose a guitar this time. Acoustic guitar, 12 string, sweet. And I don't know what else. We'll add we'll just add elastically. So we got 3 things here. And I want to start sending these, I want to send this out to multiple things. So you can do this. You can actually have each of these playheads going out to a different instrument. How do you do it? I ask. It's very easy. First thing you're going to want to do is go to your matrix. And of course, you want to connect these. And this is why you've got 8 playheads. We've got 9 playheads. The 9th playhead is used for the drums out, for the drum triggers. There's 16 drum triggers. So we're going to take this second one and send this here. And we're going to take this third one and send this here. So we've got 3 tracks going out to these 3 instruments. Let me show you the old-fashioned way. If we come over here to Fugue Machine Rubato, output 1 goes here. Output 2 goes to the second piano, which is the guitar. And output 3 goes to Elastic OSC. Now, should it just work? Let's go. It's not. It's all still piano. This is where it gets really cool, because this MIDI matrix is just so easy to fucking use. It's ridiculous. Here we are. Click on your note. So this is playhead 1, and all we need to do is swipe across, and here is our MIDI routing down the bottom. Playhead 1 is set to MIDI out 1. Click on playhead 2 and it's set to MIDI out 1. Turn that off, change it to 2. Next one, turn off 1, change it to 3. That's it. Now it's now routed and ready to go. We can flick back now and hit play. Let's find a sound in here. Maybe. I don't know why this has died. Okay, you're not working anymore. Let's just put in something simple. I don't know why that happened. Let's do King of FM. We'll reroute this. There we go. And we have now 3 different instruments doing their thing. Which then, as you would know, gives us the option now to add effects to these things if we want. So you can come in and do whatever you need to do, add your effects, add Cascade on here. We've got a guitar, let's add the Velvet Machine, boom. And the other thing is, you can just sit here live and add notes or drag notes to change the pattern as it's playing. You're not locked in anywhere here. In real time, this will move about. So some other things, little housekeeping things I want to touch on. So hopefully you get the MIDI out. You can have up to 8 of those MIDI outs, super easy. Once you've got MIDI out set, as we can see down here, let's flick over to the side again. So to show you how I got there, there's a little handle over here, and you just drag it to get back. So all your routing, and then back to all your playhead stuff. Super easy to get to. Also, up in the settings up here, we touched on this at the start. Settings, we have our MIDI out, so this can decide your channels. So again, most of us aren't going to fully get all of this in our heads, you know, and the important thing is you don't need to. You can make some super incredible stuff and just fart around and you'll get the idea. There is an arpeggiator. There's a global arpeggiator and an arpeggiator for each of these sections. Now, I'm not exactly sure how it works. I think they arpeggiate off each other. We'll try and find out. So we're on number 1 at the moment, and there's an arp here, so this effect here. If I turn it on, let's see, and turn it off, does it make a difference? Whoops. No, but there's an arpeggiator overall here. And from what I know, I think it arpeggiates off the other playheads if turned on. I think. But again, unfortunately with this, the manual is not fully completed. So you can get to the manual by going to alexandernaut.com, the developer's website. You can find that by clicking on the App Store link and this is the manual. So it's not complete in any way, shape or form. There's a lot missing. So I'm going to miss a whole bunch of stuff here, but it is what it is. So yeah, not all of it I fully get, but I'm trying to get the basics down. We also have a little flower down here in the corner too. This is like an overall look, kind of like the world icon. But the world icon over here gives you the scale and a whole lot of options, where this other icon gives you some other stuff like a global echo. So you can put a global echo on top of here. And you've got this pitch bend. Let's play with the pitch bend a little bit. See if we can. I'm not even sure how to use it, to be honest. Let's go to mode. So remember, if you're not sure, you can come down here. So you've got blend mode. Sets how the pitch bend blends the pitches of the notes it receives. So you can get pretty wild. All right, I'll show you a couple of things that I've made with this. So you can do drums as well too. There's drum. Oh, I want to touch on this, and then we'll go into presets and stuff. Up here in the top corner, you have the the key of the what's going on, right? And up here, you can. Oh, sorry, it shows what note is selected. So if I select a note here, let's just select this note. It'll tell you that's a G sharp up the top here. If I select these two notes, it's one note at a time. It's going to tell you that's a C, right? So you can find out very quickly what a note is. And up the top here is just another way to change the X, Y of the note. So you can move this left and right by dragging up and down on the X. Okay. And you can change the width as well, so you can make it a longer note if you want. From there, you can also move it around up and down like so, and you can change the velocity of this as well. And this works really good with automation as well. Anyway, if I keep going, I'm going to just confuse everybody. So let's go through some presets. Or maybe let's first just open up some things, yeah? Because I've got a whole bunch of little projects I've made. Like, God, there's so many of them. What's this one do? Again, from this one, I was messing about with last night. So these are the notes. So we've got drums coming out of this. We've got 4 playheads running here. Piano and drums doing their thing. What's this one? Then we'll go through some presets because the presets really show this. Look at this thing. It's... Oh, man. Let's add some more repeats. We've got some automation going on in this too. Octaves are being automated. The rate is being automated. All right. Lastly, we're going to run through some presets. We've got a little bit of time. Thanks for hanging out with us today. It's a little bit of a longer demo because, well, as you can see, this ain't like a walk in the park. And I wanted to try and do it a little bit longer. I waited a bit longer to do this because I want to not focus on the price. Because everybody's focused on the price of this, and it doesn't matter if this is going to be something that you're going to get a lot of benefit from. Right. But remember, Fugue Machine Classic, the original one, which I've linked in the description for the original demo, is virtually the same thing, just without all these extra automations and all the crazy stuff. It's just very simple and basic, but same kind of premise. So let's send this out to our piano. We'll just, again, just put a reverb on it. And let's run through some of these presets here. So, presets. Now there's, what, only 2 playheads here running? And with these presets, you can add more. So again, 3 notes. Wild. Look at the way it jumps. I don't know why we're getting that artifact in there. It's crazy. So, this is so much more than just a sequencer. It's wild. You got things like variations. Look at these playheads, man. What the fuck is going on? Now, there's been a lot of videos out of people doing tutorials on this app, and they're just running through presets. But they're very impressive. Like, I've not seen anything like this in my life. So this one's very simple here. Let's see what happens when we add another playhead. So it's playing the same thing, and it starts splintering off as we get further in. Let's change some of these out. Now remember, you can decide how much you want played for a particular playhead. Anyway, we'll go through a few more presets and you get the idea. Last thing I'll do, because I haven't tried this before, is let's open up a Logic project and just see if it works, because I have not yet tried it in Logic. So go to Logic Pro, create a brand new project, and MIDI track, we shall see. Can we put it in here? Fugue Machine Rubato. We'll choose an instrument. Just again, we'll choose like a piano, And we need to come in here, hold down on this, and record MIDI to this track. And we should be able to come in and, so we've got some notes already in here. It's not, oh, we've got to come in here and do this. Cool. So that's set to play. So it should, without a count in, let's take the count in out and hit record. And look at that. How easy. And there's our MIDI. So we could essentially come in and turn off Fugue Machine now, and there's our piano. Super easy to get this MIDI out onto your DAW and then discard it. Beautiful stuff. Look, let's cover it one more time. Yes, it is $60 USD. It will go up to about $80. It's on sale. It works on iOS and your Mac. If you buy it on the Mac, it's going to work on your iPad. You buy it on your iPad, you can go over to your Mac and it's going to work there as well. Fugue Machine Original Classic is still available if that's what you want to maybe try out first or get into it. Also, let me tell you, in the description of this video is a link to the test flight beta. It's not the beta, it's the current version of the app. If you'd like to try this out, down in the description, there is a test flight link. You need to have the app Test Flight installed and log in with your Apple ID. And what Test Flight allows you to do is download betas. And you can see I have a whole lot of betas in here that I'm testing and stuff. And it adds this to your beta. So it's free to do. You can download Test Flight. You can install it for free. All you got to do is log in with your Apple ID and then use the link that's in the description and you'll get to download Rubato, Fugue Machine Rubato, with one caveat. Every 15 minutes, the app will stop working. So you get 15 minutes of play and then it will stop working. You can save the project and then just shut it down, open it back up, and you'll get another 15 minutes. So if you'd like to play around with a bit more, link in the description to go and jump on the test flight and have a mess about. Otherwise, it's that's the price, and it's up to you to justify. It's up to you guys to argue over if it's too expensive or not. The other thing is, if you are a Patreon, there are copies that I have to give away. So $5 and above Patrons, and they will be drawn tomorrow. So you got to get in on it quick. All right, I think we've covered as much as I possibly can. Hopefully this has helped you get a little bit of an understanding of how this app works. It is just absolutely incredible. It's just, I think it's fantastic. I've been using it for 3 weeks since I've had it, and I keep finding new things in there that go, wow, I can do that. What? It is essentially Ableton Live in a interesting small text. You can also load it as a standalone as well. Okay, I'm out of here. I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll let you know what's going on here on the channel. We got some really cool stuff coming up. Tomorrow on the show, we are doing the Creative Hour. If you haven't already, please go ahead over to my community post section and help me choose the style of music I have to make this week on the Creative Hour. I think it's punk, doom, acoustic, and grunge. You get to choose the song I have to make in an hour. And also, please don't forget that this week coming here on the channel, Thursday and Friday night, 2 nights only, is the Music for Life charity album launch party. Night 1 kicks off on Thursday, US UK time, and night 2 continues this time next week on Friday at the usual time the show goes. So we're spreading it across 2 episodes, 60 artists, all raising money for kids with cancer. So come along and celebrate the release of this amazing album that Russ8889 has tirelessly put so much work into. And so many artists have provided music. It is an incredible set of albums. It's crazy. Thanks, Leela. There's the link. What was the time for the Thursday one? Same time as my show every day. What was it? 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 East Coast, 3 p.m. 6 p.m. East Coast, 3 p.m. West Coast, 11 p.m. UK, and 8 a.m. Australia. All right, I am out. Losing my voice today. Remember, my friends, do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better, and we'll all rise together. Lots of entertainment coming up here on the channel. We got Valerie, Bart, and Mr. Smith doing their show, followed by Sunshine Archer and Pole Vault. Then you have Laurie's Mishmosh. Then you have, who else? Gary Hubbs. And then you've got Leela, the Reality, the Leela-verse to wrap things up. And rumor has it, I don't know if it's this week or next week, but after Leela, there might be a special show happening by somebody named Brad. Anyway, that's Oj. I'll see you later. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. I hit the like, do all that stuff. It helps. See ya.